a view not just from those windows, but from your own eyes at that entire backyard. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I think it's really important to actually see this view because it gives a little bit more perspective of what that backyard looked like on that night that these three men's bodies were found. I was able to get this from the public access road, public land, able to see into that backyard and shoot this video. And when you take a look at it closely, there's one thing in particular I want to point out, and that's actually the lawn chairs, right? We know from David Harrington's family that Harrington was found right there in that lawn chair, the other two men's bodies actually laying down on the ground. But look, you can see when I zoom in on this video, the two lawn chairs sitting right there on the patio, right? So that gives us some perspective of how David Harrington's body was found, where it was specifically on that patio.
Wait, hold on.
Now, to your point that you've been making all those windows.
Wait, before you move on, don't, because this is insane. I'm going to ask our director to blow that picture up full screen and take us off the screen, because I was thinking about this. That's the kitchen window up high. Those chairs, one of them is kind of below the kitchen window and out of the view of that door, right? That white door. So if he was dead in that chair,
right,
you could definitely say you didn't see him out the kitchen window, you didn't see him out that white door, you didn't see him out the two windows to the left. You should have seen him out of the sliders, right? Except there's a curtain rod over the sliders, and it is entirely possible that the curtains were pulled on those sliders, and you would not see him from the windows on the right, to the right of the sliders. So it is possible if only one window, the big sliding glass doors, had curtains pulled, you might not miss. Were you able to see in that sliders if there were curtains there or if there were big blinds that might have been pulled? Could you get a view of that?
I couldn't say for certain to you, Ashleigh. What I can tell you is that almost all of these windows have some level of blinds on them. As for specifically that slider glass door, to my eyes right now, it does not appear as if there is anything blocking the way. Of course, time has passed. The police have been inside there, not to mention we believe the homeowner's been inside since Jordan moved out. So things might have been rearranged or changed or, you know, blinds drawn or blinds open. Based on what I can tell, there was nothing right there directly blocking it. I think about these lawn chairs, right? When you think of lawn chairs, a lot of times I think about, like, you know, ones that really lay flat. That's not the case from what I could tell. These look like they belong with like a larger table. You could sit and have supper there, you know what I mean? So a large man sitting in a tall chair feels like it would be something that would be very noticeable to the eye. Now, whether or not, like you said, those blinds were closed or the windows were drawn, you know, we don't know. But I think that was really important just to point out that those are the chairs that we believe David Harrington died in.
And, you know, I'm looking at both of them, the position of both of them. If he died in the one on the left, easily you could miss that through all of those windows on, you know, the back of the house, not the addition. I'm not going to call it, I'll call it an addition, the jutting out sliding glass door part of the house. I think it's a breakfast nook or something. Easily he could be missed there. If he was over in the chair that's right, again, can I blow that picture up big for the whole screen, just to ask our director to take the two of us off, because I just want to get a closer look. Yeah, thank you. So if he's now sitting in the chair that's butted up against the sliders, and the windows have curtains on them, because I did see a curtain rod. I did see a curtain rod when I went through the pictures inside that house. You could miss him there too. I mean, out the kitchen window, you could, it's a little harder to miss him there, right? Because it's not right underneath the window, it's just slightly out. But I'm not getting, like, I'm getting a 1D perspective. Did you get a 3D perspective on that?
Yeah, it might be worth another glance to go back there and see, but I see your point and I see how it might be possible to miss out on somebody that might be sitting there. But to me, this is a large backyard. It's a large patio. It's hard to see in this 2D format, to your point, but really just the thought of three people out there, two laying on the ground, one sitting upright in a chair, it's just really hard for me to believe that it's not, if anybody glanced out there from any of the 6 other windows, right, from upstairs, from downstairs, the kitchen, or the sliding glass in the breakfast nook, as you call it, right? There's so many opportunities for anyone.
True.
If it snowed over the weekend, aren't you gonna look outside and see how much snow came down?
Maybe, but
you know, there's just so many opportunities.
You know what? That's the other thing. Maybe there was a light dusting of snow and it was less visible. Or maybe, here's another question for you. Those windows that face out the back, what are they looking at past the yard? Are there neighbors that they're looking right at? Because if I'm getting dressed in those windows upstairs, those windows are closed. I've got blinds on them, and very often, Alex, in my house, I keep the blinds closed even in the day in my bedroom, you know, because potentially people could see in. Do you know what those windows look directly across to? Are there other neighbors?
No. So basically where I'm shooting this video from, you see in the foreground those tall grass. You know, that's right where the road is, and that's where I'm standing on the road. So it is public land, but there's not much of a vantage point from that. You got to kind of get up on your toes in order to see into that backyard. But the point is that there is not much visibility. When you look out from those upper floor windows out, you see the larger road to and from the interstate that leads to downtown Kansas City.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.